Hello there guys, welcome to another my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. So these lots of topics to delve into on this video. I am going to be giving you the latest news on Saul Niguez. I haven't spoken with you about Saul Niguez, haven't I, for the last couple of weeks. I'm also going to give you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba. Also going to be giving you the latest news on Erling Halland, and there's lots of other things to talk about. So the first topic I'm going to start with is Saul Niguez. So according to recent reports, it has revealed that Manchester United have secretly scouted Saul Niguez during Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the last, was it 16 of the Champions League second leg. So yeah, we did scout him. Now, reportedly, Man United are willing to offer around £70 million for Saul Niguez. That's around half of what, Atletico Madrid are demanding for the player, because Atletico Madrid have said they want around 130 odd million pounds for him. But I think his release clause is around £132 million. Don't forget, back in 2017, Saul Niguez had signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. And, as it stands now, he's got 6 years remaining on his contract. He's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. Now, we've been, long admirers of Saul Niguez, and we're actually seeing him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Now, it also says that, we're willing to increase his wages, because obviously at the moment he's on around £115,000 a week at Atletico Madrid. And, reportedly, we're willing to offer him nearly £200,000 a week. So we're willing to increase his wages by around 85,000. So, could this convince the player to come to Manchester United? Now, up until this point, Saul Niguez has spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. Didn't he join their youth academy in 2008, if I'm right? I think, now he's into his 12th season with Atletico Madrid. Is Saul Niguez. He's nearly made 300 appearances for Atletico Madrid in all competitions. Now, Saul Niguez, can play as a central midfielder, and he can also play as a defensive midfielder. When he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half. So, yeah, so reportedly, we're willing to offer him nearly £200,000 a week, and willing to offer £70 million. But, that could be the stumbling block, because I don't think Atletico Madrid are going to let him go for £70 million. Now, I think also City have also been in for him. He actually, said quite a few weeks ago that Atletico Madrid were in talks over getting Saul Niguez a new contract. But reportedly, he turned down the new contract offer. But yeah, but Atletico Madrid, like I said, have lost quite a few of their imperative players. Don't forget they lost Griezmann last summer to Barcelona. They got a substantial amount for him. They got around 108 million, did Atletico Madrid. Diego Godin also left them after he endured 9 years of Atletico Madrid. Atletico, did recruit quite a few players in. They got the likes of Felix in, they got Thomas Lemar in. They got Thomas Lemar in, and they recruited quite a few other players in. So yeah, so would you like to see Saul Niguez come to Manchester United? Do let me know in the comments below. It's also stemmed from Sky Sports as well, which is a very reliable source. They're saying we're planning to put around the £70 million bid in for him. But, there's quite a few midfielders on our agenda anyway. I was reading the Daily Express yesterday, and this was stemming from James Cooper, who's a Sky Sports reporter, and he says that Man United will only sign a holding midfielder. That's if, Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United. So yeah, so now I'm going to delve into the news on Paul Pogba. So I was reading Sky Sports yesterday and quite a few other media outlets, and Paul Pogba has made an admission. He said basically, he was an Arsenal fan when he was a child. He was an Arsenal fan, and the main explanations for this is because, he loved Thierry Henry. He loved Thierry Henry, and he also, because of the French players. So they're the couple of main explanations why he was an Arsenal fan. He also revealed his favourite players when he was a child. Paul Pogba. He said he liked Zinedine Zidane, who of course was French. He liked Ronaldinho, and he also liked Ronaldo. And Paul Pogba said him and his brother, did support Arsenal, but his other brother supported Manchester United. So that's, that was in Sky Sports. That's where I read it. But, he was an Arsenal fan when he was younger. So that's the news on that. And also, too, he did confirm that he had a bust up in a training session with Raphael Morrison, did Paul Pogba. Now, obviously, I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Paul Pogba on a regular basis, haven't I? Now, obviously, yesterday, like he updated you, Paul Pogba has finally responded to the criticism that he's received from Graham Souness. And it's a surprise in a way, because for such a long time, Paul Pogba has ignored the criticism, that he has received from Graham Souness. Now, Graham Souness has persistently been criticising Paul Pogba. He's been persistently criticising him. And, he's been like saying, Paul Pogba, doesn't want to be at Manchester United. He also criticised him back in March, when he attended his brother's wedding. He also, told Paul Pogba to put his medals on the table. He was saying, like, Pogba's a doddle to play against. So, yeah, he's criticised him. But he was also talking about him, being a top player and his athleticism and his technique and stuff like that. So he said quite a few stuff as Graham Souness. But like I said, Paul Pogba responded, and Paul Pogba said he doesn't even recognise Graham Souness. He doesn't even know who he is. He just heard that he was a really, really good player, because, he is a 3-time European winner. He's Graham Souness, and he is a former Liverpool player. But, this is, what Paul Pogba had said. But, since Paul Pogba rejoined Man United from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. And I think, the club do need to resolve his future. Now, obviously, it confirmed a couple of days ago that Paul Pogba had told the United podcast. He said a few stuff to the United podcast. He's also made this admission about him being an Arsenal fan to the United podcast. But he did say that his mother always told him that he would return to Manchester United, because don't forget, Paul Pogba left the football club back in 2012 for Juventus. I think his actual mother and brother played a part in him leaving for Juventus back in 2012, because he was saying the other day about, his impassioned conversations with them. But, we let him go. We had to let Paul Pogba go on a free transfer to Juventus, because Paul Pogba, revealed that he was heartbroken under Alex Ferguson, because we had him under the Alex Ferguson era. I think we got him at the age of 16. But due to limited appearances, Paul Pogba, went, and then he went and had 4 good years with Juventus, did the player. But I think, he's expected to leave Manchester United when the transfer window does reopen. I think his first choice does remain Juventus, to be quite honest with you. I think he'll probably, will make a return back to Juventus. If he doesn't go to Juventus, I can see him going to Real Madrid, because, like I mentioned before, Paul Pogba's got a really, really good relationship with Zinedine Zidane. Also, too, Mini Raioola's also got a good relation with Real Madrid. And Mini Raiola, though, at least in the last couple of years, has been working on getting his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. And, Mini Raiola has been talking a lot since... He's been talking a lot since the turn of the year, is Mini Raiola. Man United have been very, very critical of him, reflecting on some of the comments that he has said. And also, Ed Woodward's had negotiations with Mini Raiola to try and resolve Pogba's future, and to obviously stop Mini Raiola making public attacks against the club, because since the turn of the year, he's made a number of public attacks against the football club. But with Real Madrid, they're looking to do more transfer business around Madrid. Obviously, they did recruit a good 5 or 6 players in last summer and spent, was it around £300 million, but they still want to make more investment. Obviously, looking to offload players as well, looking to offload James Rodriguez. They're also looking to offload Gareth Bale. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. So, yeah. But, yeah, I think, he probably will make a return to Juventus, will Paul Pogba. And like I said, his actual preference last summer was to make a move to Real Madrid, was Paul Pogba's. Obviously, last summer we wanted around £180 million. So actually, we priced him out of the market last summer. Real Madrid were not willing to meet our £180 million valuation. So we were demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016. And obviously, Fabrizio Romano broke out some news last week, was it? It was a very reliable Italian journalist, and he actually said, did Fabrizio Romano, that Paul Pogba has got no intentions of buying out the remainder of his contract. Because there was reports allegedly saying that Paul Pogba was considering taking a FIFA transfer regulation to buy out the remainder of his contract for around £50 million. Now, as you all know, Pogba's appearances have been limited this season. Paul Pogba's only managed to play 8 times this season for Manchester United due to his injuries. And Solskjaer and Pogba was also recently talking about, the issues that he's had with injuries this season. I think he had the surgery on his ankle back in January. The last time he started from the start was back in September. Now, if we're to get rid of Paul Pogba when the transfer window reopens, I think, we have quoted out that we want at least £100 million for him. But like I said, it's very imperative that we get more than what we paid for him because, we did pay £89 million for the player. But there was some reports actually, saying the other week that Paul Pogba's only valued at around £31 million. Or maybe, we could only get around £70 million for him. Now, don't forget, swap deals have been on the agenda. Obviously, the other week there was talks of Aaron Ramsey coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. There was also talks of, De Ligt coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. So like I said, swap deals have been on the agenda, but I think swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. Let's be honest about that. But yeah, swap deals have been on the agenda. But, the reports that have been coming out recently regarding Paul Pogba, have been actually, contrast to the ones that were coming out about 3 weeks ago, yeah. Because it was saying, this was when Solskjaer had his press conference in Austria for the last game. He actually, reiterated what Pogba had said because, he said that Paul Pogba will remain at Man United next season. Because Pogba said before that, he's interested in staying at Man United and is interested in extending his contracts at the club, etc., etc. And one of the main explanations, because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes, and I think Paul Pogba would go well alongside Fernandes in our midfield. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got 2 years left on his contract, 1 year with an option of a third year. Probably Man United will trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. We'll trigger that 1 year extension on his contract, yeah. But he's had a long running transfer saga, and obviously, don't forget Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. He is only the age of 27, he's Pogba, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think, we saw the best of Paul Pogba, didn't we, mainly in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Pogba's won, I think, like 2 trophies with the club, hasn't he? He's won the Europa League and the League Cup of us. That came in his first season, but he hasn't experienced winning the Premier League or the Champions League with us. But us getting rid of him, we'll get quite a bit of money for his departure. Plus, it'll free up our wage bill completely because Pogba's on like £300,000 a week. But yeah, so he's made an admission and he said he was an Arsenal fan when he was younger. So that's the latest news on Paul Pogba. Now, I do also, want to give you some news on Erling Halland. Then I'm going to delve into the topic on Ighalo because a bit more news is updated about him. So the news on Erling Halland is that his 63 million release clause is not active until 2022. So that means Man United and Real Madrid cannot activate Erling Haaland's release clause. Now, as you all know, we went in for Erling Haaland back in the January transfer window. And I've got to say, it was a shame that we didn't get Erling Haaland, because I think, it would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, because, Solskjaer knows the player really, really well. Don't forget, Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut around 3 years ago. This is when Solskjaer worked with him at Molde. He gave him his debut at just the age of 16. Now, another reason why it was a shame that we didn't get him, because he was a cheap solution. Haaland was available for around £17 million back in the January transfer window. Don't forget, Ed Woodward and Solskjaer went to Norway to meet up with the player to discuss a possible move to Manchester United and that. And he was actually not our number one priority target, was Erling Haaland. And obviously Erling Haaland recently, was talking a lot about Solskjaer. He's credited Solskjaer, for how he taught him, and he's explained how he's turned him into an expert finisher and stuff like that. But Solskjaer was keen on a reunion with the player. But Alfin Jarland, who is Erling Haaland's father, he gave a couple of main explanations why we missed out on him in January. Is because, there has been a lot of uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. Also, too, we've had no Champions League football to offer. Reportedly, we didn't want him enough. So these are the couple of main explanations why Haaland didn't come to Man United. But he just decided to join Borussia Dortmund instead. He went to Dortmund in January for 17 million. Obviously, he signed a contract with them until 2024. And I think he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his career with Dortmund. But yeah, we have reignited our interest. Haaland has 40 goals this season in total. 12 goals in his last 11 for Dortmund, I think. Obviously his goals as well, when he was at Red Bull Salzburg. And he is only the age of 19, or is he the age of 20? So it's a shame, that we didn't get Erling Haaland on the board. But yeah, his release clause cannot be active until 2022, which is, around 2 years' time. So that's the latest news on him. So let's now delve into the news on Odin Ighalo. So reportedly, if Manchester United are to get Odin Ighalo on a permanent transfer, he will have to take a £200,000 a week pay cut. Now, I think his actual wages, are like £300,000 a week. And, we're paying like a third of his wages at the moment. So we're paying him like £100,000 a week. Because obviously, Man United have got Odin Ighalo on loan. And his current loan spell ends on the 31st of May. There was reports quite a few weeks ago saying that it's likely that we'll extend Odin Ighalo's loan until, the 30th of June, due to the coronavirus pandemic. But, Solskjaer did make an admission saying that we could decide to get Odin Ighalo on a permanent transfer. And the main explanation for this is reflecting on his good run of performances, because he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He has 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. And he's a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford. And I think he's the vocal point. He's an option of a different type of centre forward, and his hold up play is very, very good. He's a cheap solution as well, because it's been revealed how much it'll cost us to get him permanently, and it said it'll cost us around £15 million. But Odin Ighalo revealed recently that he has not yet received an offer to extend his stay at the football club. But I think Ighalo is keen on remaining with Manchester United. Shanghai Shenhua, his parent club, the other week, they came out and, offered him a substantial £400,000 a week, plus a 2-year contract extension, to convince him to turn down a permanent move to Manchester United. So reportedly, Odin Ighalo's got to take a £200,000 a week pay cut to stay at Manchester United on a permanent basis. So that's the latest news on him. So that's the latest news on him and that. But yeah, so like I said to you on my video that I did yesterday night, there's around 14 players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda. But like I said, which signings will Manchester United make? I think Solskjaer's looking, to get around 4 players in when the transfer window does reopen. Because I believe, we need around 4 signings. this summer, to become title contenders next season. And obviously, we've got to get the right caliber players in. I think our main priority targets are Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, James Maddison and Bellingham. It said last week, they are our main priority targets, are them four players. But I like what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said not too long ago, because he insists that we will exploit the transfer market when the transfer, window does reopen. Solskjaer's very, very convinced, that we can get the players that we want in, because a lot of teams are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus crisis. And teams are across the world and that are going to have to offload some of their players to generate funds. So he's got a lot of confidence, going into the transfer market as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's also identified the areas where he thinks Man United need to strengthen up. He's looking to recommend a centre forward in. He also wants to recommend a right winger in. We're also in search for a midfielder. I think we want to get a centre half in. That's not the main area where we want to strengthen up, but he hasn't fully disregarded getting a centre half in as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But yeah, so he's had quite a few meetings with Ed Woodward, discussing our transfer plans. But he's already revealed his transfer plans as Solskjaer. He still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. But so far, Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at Manchester United, and he has spent £220 million. He didn't recruit anyone in his first transfer window, but in the 2 previous windows, he recruited 5 players in. I've got to say, I've got to credit him for the 5 players he has recommended in, because, they have made a difference in the team, let's be honest. Especially, Bruno Fernandes. I've also got to credit Solskjaer for, because I think I've got to credit him for, because I think, his style of play has been looking very, very good. His development as well in certain players have been very, very good, because like I said yesterday on one of my videos, a lot of players have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance. But like I said, I think he needs more time at the football club. He has been here now 16 months, so he has been at the football club over the year. But I think, he will be given another season at Manchester United. But people are saying that, if we can sign Harry Kane when the transfer window does reopen, people are saying, we can be title contenders next season. Now, I'm not going to fully disregard us getting Harry Kane, because I think there is a chance we could get Harry Kane. But I'm not convinced that we're going to get Harry Kane. And I think Tottenham's asking price is the stumbling block, because Tottenham want a world record fee of £200 million. And I'm just very sceptical that Manchester United will pay £200 million for Harry Kane. Like I've said to you before, there's other strikers in our agenda that are much cheaper solutions. You've got Werner, that's a cheaper solution. He's available 50 million. Halland, cheaper solution. Aubameyang, he's a much cheaper solution, because it said before Arsenal had lowered their asking price to around £35 million. Kane would be a great addition to the squad, but I just think, he's just too much money. £200 million is far too much money for one player in that. Obviously, it came out saying that Daniel Levy said that Tottenham will let him leave, providing that their asking price is met. Kane wants to leave Tottenham because he did obviously make that admission last month, and Tottenham have got financial worries, and they're looking to get rid of him anyway, because obviously they're still paying their £1 billion stadium off, don't forget, and they owe 600 odd million on the stadium loan, 83 million in transfer fees. But yeah, I think Kane will leave Tottenham. I'm just very, very sceptical that he'll come to Manchester United. But, if we sign Jadon Sancho, that could actually, convince Harry Kane to come to the football club. That'll cost us around 320 million if we were to sign Jadon Sancho and Harry Kane. But there's been a lot of British players on our agenda. 3 of the 5 players that Solskjaer's recruited in so far are obviously, British, because Daniel James is British, Bissaka's British, and Harry Maguire's British. So yeah, but Solskjaer, has got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. Don't forget, quite a lot of our players are still determined to back him. But there's a lot of things that I do credit Solskjaer for. Not only the players he's brought in, he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood. We have seen a lot of the deadwood go since he's come in. Solskjaer's got rid of around 9 players since he's come in. He's also, planning to get rid of around 5 or 6 players when the transfer window reopens. So our transfer budget will increase if we can get rid of players. I think we are going to get given around £150 million to spend when the transfer window does reopen. But I think the players we're going to get rid of, I think Jones is going to go because, like I said, Phil Jones can't even get into the team now. Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at the football club. He's been here since the Ferguson era, so Phil Jones has been a long-serving player at Man United. I can see him going, and we made the wrong decision last season by giving him a new long-term contract, because he doesn't get in the team because you've got Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backups, and you've got Foster Mensah that can play as centre-half, Tuanzebe can as well. So there's no way that Jones is going to get in the team. Obviously now, I think we're going to get rid of Pogba. He's going to go. I think Pereira and Lingard, they're going to go because they are 2 liabilities, Pereira and Lingard. I think since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, Lingard has found game time very, very difficult. And Lingard has lost the confidence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And like I said, reflects on his status and the number of years he's been at Man United, Lingard, he should be putting much more better performances out. Lingard has got, exactly a year left on his contract at the football club. But the Athletic reported, was it last week, saying, that Arsenal had expressed an interest in him. It also said that Everton had expressed an interest in Lingard. But we can cash in for the player. We said wanted around £30 million. We value him at £30 million. But Lingard hasn't registered 1 goal or 1 assist in the Premier League for over the year. With Pereira, he only became a regular last season anyway. He's got a contract with the football club until 2023. He's been playing regularly throughout the course of this season, but that's only due to, McTominay being out with injury. But now obviously McTominay's back, so obviously Pereira is finding game time difficult. Now you'll see he'll make the most of his appearances will come from the substitutes bench. But yeah, get rid of Pereira. I think we'll negotiate on getting rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer as well. Very sceptical he'll come back. Smalling, I'm very, very sceptical he'll come back. They've got financial difficulties of Roma, so maybe Roma won't be able to get him on a permanent transfer, but I just can't see him coming back to Manchester United. Chris Smalling did endure 9 years with the football club, so we are planning to get rid of more players. But like I said, Solskjaer deserves more time. Some managers do deserve time. Like I said, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years when he came to Manchester United, but we was patient with him, and look what he went and accomplished after not winning out in his first 4 years. One of the most decorated managers of all time. Won the vast majority of our silverware under Ferguson. Ferguson also developed a lot of young players. Like I said as well, Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. And don't get me wrong, Solskjaer, won't replicate Alex Ferguson's legacy. But regardless of who our manager is, I don't think we'll ever, be the team that was under Ferguson, and we'll never achieve what we achieved under Ferguson. But we just want to be back being a competitive elite level football club. Now, since Ferguson retired, we have been playing catch up for the last 6 or 7 years, let's be honest. Like I've said before, we've had different managers with different philosophies. A hell of a lot of money's been invested into the football club. We've spent close to the £1 billion range on new players in the last 7 years or so. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, a lot of players have left since the Alex Ferguson era. It was actually Louis van Gaal that got rid of quite a lot of players that we had under Alex Ferguson, because Van Gaal got rid of around 20-odd players. But yeah, I think there's only Jones and De Gea here now, from the Alex Ferguson era. But yeah, we've recruited a lot of players in the last 6 or 7 years. Obviously, we saw Juan Mata and Fellaini coming under the David Moyes era. They're coming under the David Moyes era. Fellaini's no longer here now. He left back in January 2019 for China. Went to China. We paid just over £27 million for Fellaini. And like I said, he brought Juan Mata in, and Juan Mata still is now at Manchester United. But he only recommended 2 players in, did David Moyes. And like I said, we made a mistake by recommending David Moyes, and that was Alex Ferguson's fault for ever recommending him in the first place. But that was the only mistake Ferguson made, was ever recommending David Moyes. And the main explanation why I did it is because they was both Scottish. Under Moyes, I think we finished 7th, and that's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. And he only enjoyed 8 or 9 months with the club. So Moyes went, and obviously Van Gaal came in. He recruited a lot of players in. He brought the likes of Di Maria, Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Daley Blind, Martial and Shaw. They're still here now. So look, we had a lot of, Louis Van Gaal brought a hell of a lot of players in. There's probably quite a few others that I haven't mentioned. And we did win the FA Cup under Louis Van Gaal. I think Louis Van Gaal enjoyed 2 years at Manchester United. Of course, after he went, we recommended Jose Mourinho in, and Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the football club. So, analysing the vast majority of these players, they are Jose Mourinho's. There's still nine players here now from the Jose Mourinho era. Mourinho must have spent a good £400 million at the football club. Mourinho enjoyed 2.5 years at Manchester United, but the main explanations why it didn't work out is because he had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes with our top players such as Martial, Shaw, Pogba. Fred never really got his opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era, but Mourinho did win 2 trophies in his first season at the football club and that. So we have sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. So Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era, but he deserves more time. And like I said, Solskjaer got the job permanently. Reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager, because he did really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and that. He's inexperienced as a manager, but the longer Solskjaer remains in the managerial role at Man United, he's going to be gaining more managerial experience. This season, we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season ever. Solskjaer was also a great player for the football club. He was a great player for the football club and that. But like I said, he's promoted the youth very, very well, and that's something else I do credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. But I'm still very sceptical that he is the long-term, future for Manchester United at the moment. Solskjaer has got around 2 years remaining on his contract. He's got around 2 years remaining on his contract, but I know I've been criticised him this season. A lot of Manchester United fans have criticised him this season. But we've been in a good run of form before the football season got suspended. We're unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, but we do need to give him more time. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.